Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Club for episode 183 of On the Backs of Gods. I'm your DM, Jillian, and we have most of our players today. Same as always, we have Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. Kyle is here with us in spirit, and I am now Fen, and whatever I do is canon. Anywho, let's go ahead and get into what happened last time, and I think we can jump back into things. All of
This
you are
episode,
in
Fen will be starting a business.
uh, Jesse starts a business. He adopts six dogs. It's a whole thing. So good for him. Uh, you
He
all
said he
are
was missing that.
currently in Dem Woods, which is the hometown of Nyx and Keld. You just had a bit of a stint in the Brushwood, which is a nasty little section corrupted by a hag. Um, it wasn't fun. You had a bad time, but you technically accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish. So take your win. Nobody's dying yet. You know, nobody's dying yet. Um, you get settled, you try to get your brains right. Uh, a lot of this time last session was spent conversating and figuring your lives out in regards to what's happening next and your relationships and if certain arms can be healed, and it seems they could not, and ended with a conversation with the entire party, which then included Russ and Rose, uh, to which you were able to acquire some information about Sindri and the intent there, some information about Bosch and what Rose knows about the guard. Um, and Rose has agreed after all of you had your talk with Russ, stating that you will currently not be going after Sindri. Some of you may have modified that statement, and that's also canon. Anywho, uh, but Rose has agreed to give you guys two sendings and has put the first into a ring. Um, you all are sitting inside of this work shed as the sun has now set, and you are post like a large chunk of this conversation. Uh, Rose hands the ring over and then goes and sits down next to Russ. Um, Anybody with an insight of 16 or higher passive insight, he has shook hands and has said, he has agreed to the terms. He is upset. He is trying to keep a pretty like straight face, but he loses focus and then his face drops and he puts it back. Um, Something in this conversation was not his favorite. Or he's trying to figure something out. He's trying to figure things out. But you can see that he is not happy. But he is not engaging currently. You have a sending. What are we doing?
Hell gets the
Perfect.
ring. Do your sending.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what I want to say, and I knew it before too.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
Definitely.
Did that on purpose. That was so troll.
All right, so we're gonna send this to Gunhild.
Okay.
Apologies. We'll be back in Jarl's Becker in fuck. I'm not ready. We didn't decide on the days.
How many days?
You
How many days?
right
Oh,
already started. Nobody else says anything. You pick a day.
Reading
I
this
gave
like
you all a week. I gave you a week. You have to say a day now.
Okay. We'll be back in Jarl's Becker in 3 days and ready to move. Any news from Riven?
Okay.
She's gonna be mean, and I don't.
There's a pause. Go fuck yourself. That is the end of the message. It wasn't a no, but But
Kind of
Hmm.
felt like a no.
Hmm. So nothing of use back?
Nope. No.
Was Gunhild the one that sent you the very, very angry sending while we were in? Okay. All right. Okay.
Not exactly the best person to work with for obvious reasons. So, what next?
Alternatives.
Send one to Riven to check on her. See if she has
Yeah.
something.
I like that.
Yes. Yeah. I
Don't
mean, if she's
um,
safe.
don't mention anything about us being ready to move.
Mm.
She's too close.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Rose slips the ring off your finger after seeing nobody has any way to do anything, puts one more sending in, and then hands it back to whoever wants it.
I'm gonna assume either Keld or Nyx, since
Back
they've
to
actually
Keld.
spoken with Riven.
Nyx is over by Russ. His,
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of.
Fair.
Yourself.
Mm. Yeah.
What do you say to Riven?
Um, how specific should I be? I mean, my first thought is to just ask if there's any news.
Seems
Suppose
good
if
enough.
she's safe as well,
Mm.
if she's able to tell us.
Okay. Should I say who we are? I mean, we don't have to do that, right?
She recognizes.
She'd
She would
recognize
recognize your
us.
voice, right?
I would hope so. All right, we will send Riven. Are you safe? Do you have any news? Can we meet? That's
There is a delay and then a response in a very hushed tone. I'm sorry. Go through our mutual. And guts
Mm.
contact.
What was the last part?
Go through our mutual.
Oh, okay.
all
Is
right.
the mutual Gunhild?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right. Well,
We'll have to talk to her when we get to town.
yeah.
Yep.
We can try again. Um, maybe maybe I can try again tomorrow.
Maybe. But it might be better when we get back to town.
Maybe. I don't think we'll make any more headway with Gunhild just sending her sendings. I think we'll just piss her off.
Thanks, Rose.
Thank you, Rose, very much.
Yeah. No problem. She looks like a little sweaty.
You need a bit of water or anything?
No, I'm worn out.
Mhm. Yeah. Sorry to tax you, but thank you for helping us.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, Russ and I just walk you back now. I think we're good.
Okay. I'm good.
All right, we're gonna go.
Okay. Russ is yeah. The second you
Yeah.
say
Let's go.
Russ stands up. And Rose, Russ, and Nix make their way out.
What does Nyx do? Is she taking her books?
Hmm.
Grandma's sexy novels?
She probably took the explicit ones with her because she
Yeah.
was keeping those away from the team.
Right.
So Nix takes most of the journals with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
But
could
there
have
are
a
some
solid
left.
5.
Okay. Okay.
Roshan will begin tidying them up and says, I'll meet you back at the yeah, I don't know where I'll sleep tonight, but I will just going to clean up around here and then take off.
All right. I'm happy to help you clean up a bit. Many hands light work, all that.
Sure. I think Roshan after that wants a moment alone here and thanks you and does not follow.
Okay. Fair enough. I think she just parts with, let me know if you need anything before you go to bed, all right?
We'll be at
Yeah.
the house.
I won't be long.
Okay.
And a little paper cut out of Fen follows you guys.
Yep.
Just a little scribble drawing of Fen follows you out.
Just like, imagine everybody animated fully like in The Legend of Vox Machina, and Fen is just like a very stop and start animated stick figure.
So you guys head out. Currently, we have Russ and Rose and Nix heading back to where Rose is staying. Russ, you can see is like taking like long, like, breaths pulling into the solar plexus and is maintaining a pretty straight face, but like you can read him. It's not too hard.
You want to talk about it?
I feel like I ruin the mood every time I talk about it. I feel like I keep talking about it and ruining the mood.
I'm fine. We should. It's better than keeping it in.
Okay. I'm realizing, and I think I knew this, that there's nothing anyone could have said to fix everything, which I knew. I didn't know to what extent, but it was almost okay. I can understand a difference of opinion, a difference of experience. What I find difficult to get behind is when little groups that explore the forests and the roads, the tundras, decide that they are judge, jury, and executioner based on their ever-changing morality. And as I know that their morality is ever-changing, I can't trust Roshan.
Neither can I.
Where's the line? So, That's where I am. Is that whatever Roshan's morality is in the moment will rule his choices. And I could not sit astride that. I will start no conflict, Nyx. You have my word on that. I work mostly in defending myself. And that's what I'll do. And it may never come to anything, and I hope it doesn't. But that conversation would not sway me if it came to blows. If they start something, I will finish it.
I agree. Based on that conversation, at least.
So I'm not saying that people can't change and heal and what have you. I have changed and healed, so I'll do it again. But it is where I currently sit. Is that one man's morality decides who gets to live this day.
I can promise you that if I was ever going to change my mind related to this situation, it would be off of something I learned myself, not from any of them. Oh, except
All right.
Keld.
Okay, that's fair. Keld's great. I trust Keld. Yes, 100%.
Mhm.
If you learn anything, you can tell me. Rose told me about the issue on the coast before we went in there, because you had brought it to my attention back when we were in town, the attack on that town. So, that's what we met up to talk about.
Glad he would have done something if it was possible.
Rose clears her throat. I think if we had been a bit more on the ball, we could have done something. I think we believed that progress would happen first, and not something so catastrophic.
It was almost a lot worse.
We are incredibly grateful that you all were there, and that there was an ancient, powerful wizard also there. So that city really lucked out.
He did. Sounds like it could have been better, but
I thought if he was going to do something, I thought he'd start smaller or more esoteric. That was a misread on my part.
Stories I've heard, it did start smaller. It just wasn't over here.
Yeah.
No.
Either way, he's a dead man. Just depends when. Soon.
So I want to know, how long have you two known each other? Has this been like a long working together thing? Have you been friends for like a couple days?
You can see that like Russ like opens his mouth, closes his mouth, and like kind of spirals a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Rose, you see that like Russ is almost like, I don't even know what word I start with for a sentence in this moment. Rose sort of stops. You guys are pretty close to where she is staying tonight. Well, I'll perspective and what I'm willing to share. And then Russ can give anything he wants to. But I've known about Russ the whole time. I've known about his existence. He's very important to Sindri. And I have had communications with Russ. Russ and I have never stood in front of each other like this, eye to eye.
I'm glad you two could meet.
Yeah. Russ nods. Well, this is my stop.
Yes. Are you coming to our wedding tomorrow?
Oh. Do you want me there?
Why wouldn't we want you there?
I don't know. I thought it was a valid question.
I mean, your brother got an invite, so
Oh, well, if he's still on the invite list, then I guess I'm all in. Sure. Am I supposed to bring a gift? What am I supposed to do?
show up.
That's easy enough.
That's good. Right.
Okay. Well, Russ is like, well, she's standing and slaps her legs. Russ says, well, I'm glad you're coming. I appreciate that you're coming to the wedding. And he seems actually like happy about that. And he goes in to hug her and then stops and like pulls his arms back. He's like, sorry, I forgot, my bad. And looks to you. All right.
I never wants hugs. That's good.
Okay. And you and Russ start making your way back. Any conversations with Russ or just heading back?
Yeah, I need to ask him about a certain situation for
Sure.
tomorrow. So, did my parents explain to you all that happens tomorrow?
Yes, I was given a rundown that I don't remember a lot of, and then I was given a second rundown, more face to face, less locked in a shed. And that one I remember most of, yeah.
Okay.
I have a rundown of the customs.
Okay. Because I've been trying to think of who I was going to ask to be my support tomorrow. It's like my first thought was going to be Nana, but because of everything going on, I wanted to check with you first how you felt about that, because I can ask somebody else to do that.
If Nana is someone who's important to you and you feel like they are deserving of being your support, I don't think my opinion would matter on that. It's your support.
As long as you're okay with it.
Yeah. We're a community. I mean, we both literally just joined, so I feel like, you know.
Yeah. But I don't know. I know everybody in town, but I'm not super close with most people in town.
Yeah. It's whatever you want.
Okay. That's all.
Yeah.
Have you picked somebody?
There's only one person I could possibly ask. And then if they say no, I don't understand who would be my support after that. So
If he says no, then we can just both have none. Sounds better. So it looks
okay.
normal.
I'll tell you if I am irreparably damaged tomorrow if he says no.
I'll talk to him if he says no. Something's
Okay.
wrong. If he says something's really wrong.
Okay, I'll ask him tomorrow and I'll tell you if I'm very, very sad.
Maybe we should go find him now and check. I don't know.
And we just had a really, really rough conversation. And like, I know none of it was directed at him.
Kyle, in the morning's fine.
Yeah, I'll ask him in the morning. It'll be
not.
fine. Slowly closes the door. Ah.
doesn't even open the door to answer. She's like, oh, I know what this is for. No.
Anything else, Nix? Or
Nah, just head back home.
okay. You head back home. Roshan, you watch the door to the shed close, and you have a little pile of journals. Is there anything in particular you wanted to do?
So I think he's going to pick up a piece of chalk and run through the ritual for silence. I don't think he thinks it's going to work, but perhaps there's something in the ritual itself that can help. Does it do anything?
Okay. You go out and do a ritual casting of silence, and you sit there for a moment. And you hear a voice in your head. Well, this is a bit sad, isn't it? And you recognize the voice of Ing in your mind.
So I'm wearing the Ring of
The
Mind.
Ring of Mind protection, yes.
Does that do anything? I don't know. I haven't read it.
It's no, you don't have to read it.
Damn. I'll say, in the words of your friend, go fuck yourself.
I know Gunhild anywhere. Huh. Well, I suppose good luck with what you're trying to accomplish. Good luck indeed.
Was that a second sending?
Roshan, this isn't sending. You saw Ing turn to ash.
Yeah, dude, you're talking to the dead, man.
You're welcome to roll Arcana if you would like to, or Insight, but tell me which one you're rolling.
Sure, I'll roll Arcana and Bastard 20.
Okay. You're very aware. You're like, this is an ascending. Is this man messaging me from the beyond? And you're like, I feel like that would feel different.
Yeah.
This is a voice coming from inside your head. This is like an internal thought of Ing's voice. And you take a glance down at the ring on your hand. He goes, he figured it out.
I think he stares at it for a minute, considers taking it off, and says, I don't suppose you could tell us where to kill your boss, huh?
I don't get to really gain much from that, do I?
I don't think there's much to be gained at this point.
That's right. You're very right. I suppose there is satisfaction if you would be so kind as allow me to be in your mind when you inevitably meet the dirt. But that would be asking for a lot. And I would never.
You liked it so much the first time you want to try it out again?
Yes. again
You
and
are
again.
one kinky son of a bitch. And then Roshan's going to take off.
And you hear his laughter just like echo through your mind, and you pull the ring off, and the voice stops.
I think Roshan sits there shaking a little bit because that was concerning.
Mm.
And then he will try and reach out to the shadow as he would in a silence bubble usually, and say, I don't know if you can hear me when or if you're coming back. I think I'm trying to be the best parts of myself that I can, but it's so quiet without someone in my head. Without my magic. There's someone who wants to meet you, who might be, I don't know, the missing piece you were talking about, but you've got to come back so you can see her and help her. She doesn't want my help. She doesn't want any of our help. I think Roshan just waits for a good few minutes in the quiet, not moving, but just listening to the sounds of the woods and the creak of the building that he's in, and just whispers, it's too quiet. And then walks out, and I think he's at a loss of where to go, but I think he ultimately chooses to go to Keldon Nix's place.
Okay. All right. Anything else for this evening?
Does Nana get...
What?
I was just wanting to know if Nana gets to find out about being an important part of this ceremony before or after?
In the morning.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, whenever Nix asks you.
Cool. I think otherwise, Nana is probably like using the evening for meditation and sorting through some stuff from the conversation tonight, but nothing specific aside from that.
Okay. I turn the paper cutout of Fen sideways, so it is laying down. Honk shoe. Everyone gathers in their respective beds and cots and pillows for tonight, and the night passes. You all have a long rest. If anybody had any corruption levels left, I can only assume they are all now gone as you wake up the next morning. All right. That like Nix's parents are like up and about and going around.
I rolled just for giggles to make sure that I would lose it, and I almost rolled a nat 1, but it was a nat 2.
Perfect. And that's all you need.
That's all you need.
All you
Yeah.
need. But you wake up the next morning, you can see the ladle and the grand pot are actively busy and like talking to people outside and gathering things and like moving around. They seem to be happily busy. Anything in particular from the team for the morning?
At breakfast, Nix would bother Nana about
Mhm.
this. So I have to ask you a question.
Okay. What?
One part of what we do for weddings here is we have somebody that supports us that's part of the community, and I was going to ask if you would do that for me today.
Oh, Nix, I'd be honored. Sure. What do I do? What's the role entail?
You have to help with the knot tying part of the ceremony. That's it.
When does that happen?
Good,
During the
great.
ceremony.
The ladle comes over immediately the second basically you've announced who your support is, and immediately comes over. Let's go, ladies. We're on a
Okay.
schedule.
All right.
Got it. You'll learn it all.
Okay.
And the ladle straightens up and like walks right past, stops, kisses the grand pot, and then makes her way out of the house, expecting 2 people to be following rapidly behind.
Mhm.
Okie dokie. Nana will follow in line.
We'll leave
She
cleanup
knows.
to the boys. It's fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They can take a turn. Well, Keld's been doing a lot of turns on that, in fairness, but paper cutout Fen can help.
Paper cutout Fen puts his hands into the sink and dissolves and dies.
He cannot touch
No,
water.
no. His
How
arm
is he-
rots away.
He only has one arm. He can't wash the dishes.
I can't
Oh,
do dishes,
guys.
guys. I
He-
only have one arm.
Together,
can- It's
It's
comrade.
me,
Get them
Fen.
on the
I can't
counter
do the
and dry
dishes.
them.
I have one arm.
You can set them on the counter and dry them.
Dabbing with a piece of cloth. But people go about their breakfast. Keld, you watch people start getting dragged away. Fen gets up and he's like, well, while I have a chance, I'm gonna go play around. And then you can see Russ staring at you, Keld. Just staring at you. And then you look across the room.
Is he in the room with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see he's staring at you, and then the grand pot is staring at him. So it's like, just kind of like a triangle of staring at people.
Like in the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Keld, would you like to be my support for the wedding today?
Of course.
Okay. Great. Relief. All right. The grand pot said, we don't have as much to do, but let's go. And the 3 of you exit the space to go get ready for the ceremony. People not involved in the ceremony doing anything before the wedding?
I think Roshan would have tried to catch the grand pot and ask him, is there anything I can do to help prepare?
No. Of course, you're welcome to, if you want, you can go to the center of town, and there are people setting up. If you would like to assist in any way, by all means, we would appreciate it.
Okay. And does Roshan have magic back yet?
Roshan, do you take a minute to dwell on that as everybody
I think-
starts running away?
He probably would have right when he woke up. So yeah, if not by now, then now.
you wake up, everything's a little hectic, and you you eat some granola,
Mm.
and you take a moment. It's like an itch moving across your skin, an itch that you can follow, gentle static, the brush of wind, something so minute but palpable. Something is there, but it is incredibly faint. You may use cantrips to the amount of first level spell slots that you have, and then you have one free spell slot you can use on any of your levels. So you have limited cantrips, one leveled spell.
Sweet.
Roshan's like, I'll take it up top.
Woo!
Anything. Then he'll go to the workshop and continue working on his rock.
Did this man just say, hey, how can I help? And was given a way to help and then did not go help?
I forgot about that
Silly,
part
silly
already.
boy.
I got my magic back.
He got so excited.
It's
Yeah,
canon. He goes to the workshop.
He would indeed go help set up.
Okay. I thought it was just very funny.
He can use some
Like, oh,
cantrips to help set up
okay.
if he wants to.
Guys, watch this fireworks.
Fuck your wedding. I've got a rock.
Guys, I'm busy.
Have you seen this cool rock though?
Okay. Roshan heads off. Fen paper doll cartwheels across town. And everybody else begins to get ready for the wedding. It seems that like these wedding ceremonies in Demwoods are a bit traditional presenting. As Nana, you enter into a room with only women. Not very many women, but you see the ladle, you see Nyx's aunt, you see a few women coming and going and like bringing things and talking. Some people drop off food and chat. But it seems you are immediately brought in for all of you to start getting your hair braided. That this seems to be a communal thing that the women during a bridal ceremony take the time to braid each other's hair. And you see that the ladle sets up behind Nyx and begins to like take the chunks of ice out of her hair and starts like drying it. And you watch Auntie with her big gator hands turn and look at you, Donna.
By all means, if you're familiar with my type of hair.
Sit. And she like
Alrighty.
chuckles and she comes over.
Nana does.
Are you used to my type of hair?
I don't
She
know.
immediately gets her fingers in there.
Nana has to
And-
assume that this is not unfamiliar ground for a seasoned auntie such as this.
I mean, you can tell that her hands are a bit cumbersome for activities like this.
Mhm.
And there is some pain with it.
Yeah.
But to be
It's okay.
expected.
Yeah.
And she seems to just be free-forming unless you tell her something in particular, but she's just like, I'm gonna
let the Demwood style shine here. Nana feels like this is a Demwood ceremony, so she'll wear it like Demwoods would wear it.
Okay. She does not do a large amount of braids in your hair. You see that the ladle is taking a lot more time with Nyx's hair.
But that makes sense.
But you are given some smaller braids along like the sides just to kind of hold your hair out of your face, basically, is the setup. And she focuses on that. You can see that there is a deep maroon dress embroidered with flowers hung up on the side. Now no longer fit for the height of a Furbolg woman, but more for a Nyx-sized woman. And your mother leans forward and talks to you, Nyx, and gets your input on what to do with your hair and what she's been thinking about and what you've been thinking about. I will ask you to describe it later, but you hand over a lot of your items that you had gathered. Your mother talks to you. For my crown, my mother made me it was made of vetch and sorrel. I hope you like yours, and pulls out the crown that she made, which is made of boxwood and heather.
Hmm.
Perfect.
Sit there and hold it while the braiding's happening.
Yeah. You can hear like Auntie pulls up your hair in the back, Nana, and is like kind of setting it up a bit higher and goes, ah, that looks painful.
What you mean?
Look, and she like grabs your hair and like turns your head to the side and's like, ah, that won't work, and then laughs. And then like puts your head back straight. You just have a couple little scratches. Must have rolled over on your little tot.
I suppose so. Huh. Don't remember doing that, but doesn't look too bad. Won't mess up the look for today, so should be all right.
No. She gets up. She kind of like puts your hair over your shoulder. She gets up. Looks like she's going to get some type of oil or ointment or something to put on it.
Okay. Fair enough. Nana will kind of like help to sort of pin the hair out of the way of the scratch.
Sort of looks like you got pinched. Ointment on the back of your neck. There we go. Just hold that there until it dries.
All right.
So you just have to sit there holding your hair for a while.
That's okay. I can do that.
And Nix, is there anything in particular you wanted to talk about with the team before the wedding? Or is it just a nice moment getting your hair braided and spending time with family and your support?
It's just a nice time.
Okay. Back at the dude's hut. Your father just kind of takes you to this. It's more like it's much closer to a gazebo than a building. It's just a bit of a side area, and he sits down and basically gets you guys a drink and sits with you. If you'd like me to say something inspirational, I can. But until you have to get dressed, there's not much we need to. And he smiles and takes a sip of his drink. Russ thinks for a minute. No, I think I'm good. I feel like you've given me a good sum of inspiration lately, and I should let you save some of it. You never know if you might need it later. And Russ will drink his drink, and it's just a quiet man's moment, sitting and drinking in this gazebo.
Quite peaceful.
It's the most masculine moment of the day.
Honestly.
Sitting silently drinking.
It's just a very chill moment as they just sit there and drink. Roshan, you arrive and people are setting up those long tables for feasting and setting up decorations, a lot of plants and things, and you are immediately like swooped in and pulled into the fray the second you get too close. You don't even have to like say, how can I help? It's too late. You're already in the second, get pulled in by the undertow. And you begin to get ready. Eventually, the boys finish their drink, and your father kind of like looks up at the sun, kind of like squints up a bit. All right, let's get started. and he stands up, and you go to a more secluded area where Russ is given traditional garb to wear and put on so that he kind of blends in more with the community style, and is given a large fur to wear over his tunic. And while they're talking, your father brings up that he is welcome to have a weapon at his side, as that is something kind of like befitting the moment, is to wield your weapon. And so the Morning Star is part of the outfit, kind of these soft kind of gray greens of these Demwoods clothings with this like rich brown fur. And Russ looks very happy. It's been a minute. Russ seems very, very happy. As he stands like between looking up at both of you, just gigantic guys, like, here's your fur. Oops. Okay. Here you go.
It's the
Here you go,
tall
friend.
dude circle.
Yeah. Russ, a very tall man. Not so tall in this moment. But he is not wearing any of the pieces of his armor. All of that was left to the side. Though he is wearing the blue gem that he had gotten to match Nyx's hair color. So he gets ready. Is there anything you guys do before it's time?
Kild will just clasp him on the shoulder. You look right at home.
And he just kind of like nods a little. If he says something, he'll cry. And then he leans in and gives you a very big hug. You think he believes it, that he feels at home. And as the hair is braided and the clothes are put on and the community gathers, that's where we are going to stop. So we can take a little break. And then we'll get back to the wedding. Thank you guys for being here. How about you go get a snack and a drink for the celebrations? And we will be back in 10 minutes.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Code for episode 183 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break and it's time for a wedding. I'm going to check in with the side teams really quick. Fen, as he approaches to come over to prepare to be a spectator in this sport, will take the time to cast Disguise Self and will probably use all of his spell slots for the rest of the day, as need be, for however long this party lasts, to just make the outfit he's currently wearing just look nicer and pressed and cleaner, maybe a little more vibrant in places, but change nothing else, and will sit to watch the ceremony. Roshan, do you change anything? Any doings?
Roshan would wear nicer clothes and use one of his precious spell slots to make himself presentable.
A magical scrub. Rose eventually shows up, and it looks like she's wearing a similar outfit to what like a lot of the other women here are wearing. It seems she went and acquired an outfit or is disguising herself to be in an outfit that matches with the attire of the women in the community. And the only other thing is that she is still wearing her large cloak that she had before. And she takes a seat. Doesn't sit next to anybody in particular, just kind of picks an edge seat and sits there. Content to support her new friend and Russ. Or new friend and Nyx, however, whichever way you want to go with that.
Both.
But Roshan, you got to assist with watching the chairs get set up, some people getting ready, children being wrangled, and the building of this four-legged canopy that stands at the center. Nana, is there anything in particular you add to your outfit or to your look as you come over to take your seat?
Well, if I'm remembering right, I still have the glamored studded leather armor, which means that if I have that, I can wear it and I can kind of do similar to Rose, where I just sort of adopt an outfit that is similar in style to what the other feminine presenting folks are wearing and what seems to be appropriate for the helper to the support to the bride. And aside from that, I think she makes sure that she is wearing a couple of the bracelets and bangles that she doesn't always wear, like when they're out in the field. Like she's got the orcish gold bangle from the orc camp in the mountains that Gorbjorn gave her. She's still got the charm bracelet that Saga gave her, and yeah. So she's not always wearing those things out in the field. She makes sure to wear those today to have those personalities present with her.
Okay. And Auntie Scala kind of takes you, Nana, and like kind of shows you where to sit, that you're going to be sitting vaguely near the front. And she's like, you'll figure it out, and gets comfy.
Okay. I guess while we're also waiting, if there's nothing else really expected of her in the moment, she's kind of gonna think back, like, when would she have gotten those scratches? Was it maybe during the ritual? Did she, like, fall on something? Or she's just kind of, like, thinking back, trying to, like, what would that have been?
Okie dokie. And you ponder that. Kel, you also show up to find your seat. Are you wearing anything in particular for the wedding?
Yeah, he probably took out his one more formal outfit that he had in storage somewhere.
The pot mitzvah outfit.
Yeah.
I wore this at my pot mitzvah. It's a little like it's a little like flood pants, little like high waters. He's like, let me put
Waders.
my boots on with this so that
Yeah, we might fix
so
that.
I
You
look
gotta
like-
wear your wellies. They'll keep your feet
Uh,
dry.
but
hey, it looks nicer. So
yeah, Kel, you
Um,
go take your seat near the front also.
I will say he
Uh,
also, hopefully he had time to do a little digging. He wanted to sort of have something gold and something blue to twine through his hair just to represent the two married,
Yeah,
to be married.
of course. Yeah, you find something and you take the time to twist it into your hair and you join everybody starting to gather. There is a giant of a man, and by giant of a man, I mean he's like a literal giant. This man is a giant. Comes over with like a large wood board and places a humongous loaf of bread on a table, and then goes and sits on Roshan. You now see and makes sense. You thought it was a bench that had been dragged down. No, it is seat for this guy. And he goes and sits in the back so he's not blocking anybody's view, and gets comfy and ready for the wedding. And you watch as the ladle makes her way forward and also takes her seat right at the front, and just a huge smile plastered on her face the whole time. Everybody has to be here. You're Keld, you're pretty sure everyone's here. You look around. Roshan, you see a couple of people you recognize. You recognize the coddler. You recognize the mill, who you watch holding a baby on her hip, a hand on her stomach, makes her way over to another man and kisses him on the cheek, and they sit next to each other. Keld, you recognize this as the mold, her husband, and they take their seat together. Probably the most recent wedding was theirs, unless one happened while you guys were not in town, which is possible. But that was probably the last wedding you guys went to. And then you watch as the grandpa, wearing a helm of twisted grass, makes his way down the center aisle towards the four-legged canopy. You can see that the canopy is covered in beautiful winter foliage and sits just before the large pot in the center of town, where every event seems to take place. You can see that, Nana, as you're looking around, a lot of people, like Keld, who has twisted these things into his hair, a lot of people in the community are wearing a lot of like twisted cords and braids, and it seems that that is a shared thing that the community does. And everybody gets quiet for a second as Russ makes his way up the center aisle. And there is no music. It is just the sound of the murmur of people, the sound of nature, the sound of the day, the community, as Russ makes his way towards the grand pot, wearing his greens and grays and this fur with the extravagant, now very extravagant looking morning star at his side, blue gem catching the light as he makes his way forward and stands before the grand pot. He stands on the left side and looks down the aisle. Nix, can you describe your wedding outfit for us, please? Can you describe your look?
Everyone already knows about the maroon dress with the red florals on it and the fur on it. And her hair is braided with a few really small tight braids going back around the sides, twisting over one another, and a larger one down the middle. And in the bigger braid, there's the bowstring from Fen looped in, kind of looking like its own strand of the braid. A couple of chicken feathers tucked in, some interspersed rose quartz and some pieces of rosemary with this heather and boxwood headpiece around the top. She's also got the red braid from Russ on one side, and she is wearing her commissioned leg charm with the fang on it as well, if it's visible.
Okay. It's probably not visible, but you know it's
there. Everyone knows it's there.
We all know. Everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
Okay. Next, you make your way towards your father and Russ, and you take your place to the right of your father. And this is the only way I guess I could describe it, is Russ looks at you with ecstatic awe and sits in amazement of you as you stand before him for the second time now to marry him. And Nix, how do you feel standing before Russ?
Much more excited and less drunk than the last time. Like, you almost feel the energy buzzing. Like, this is at home where everyone's actually getting to be around her, and feels right.
Okay. You watch as the grandpa raises his arms, and everybody in the community begins to scream and howl and shout and cheer. It is a loud uproar. Russ looks and tilts his head back and howls to the sky. Everyone just shows their support through claps and stomps and sound. And eventually the grandpa is then able to quiet everyone again before he starts. And he quiets everybody enough to be heard. It is not at all times complete, perfect silence. That is impossible when the entire community is there to support you. Somebody's shifting or speaking. There are children. There are just elderly people who are going to say something if something pops into their mind, and it's just what they do. It's a large group of people. It can't be controlled in that way. The grandpa clears his throat and speaks loudly enough so that everybody can hear him. I've officiated many weddings. I've seen love blossom many times in this community. And I cherish every single one. I am privileged bloom in my daughter. And he looks at you and he smiles, and you can see his eyes have misted up a little bit. And he looks to the community, and you can see around you that everybody like inhales when he does, and you watch as every learned member of the community says this with him. We are blessed to have more mouths to feed. We are blessed to fill another chair. We are blessed to have full cups to share. We are blessed. And the sound sort of echoes and hangs in the air for a moment as the ladle approaches with 2 spoons of honey and hands one to Nix and one to Russ and says, "For a sweet future." And you both turn to each other and feed each other the honey, which of course is people in varying places shout and cheer, even if not prompted. And the ladle smiles. A symbolic vow, an oath to each other. And she kind of steps back and stands to the side of the grand pot. And the grand pot reaches forward and takes your hand and Russ's hand and places them together, intertwining the fingers a bit, leaving a little space between your hands. And he loops the beginning, like the middle of a long cord between each of your fingers as you hold your hands there. You will always be supported by the community, to be loved in life's valleys and celebrated in her peaks. Who holds these cords? And Nana, you know that that is your cue, and you stand up. Keld, you are already standing on the word who as you get up. Both of you come over, and these two like ornate sticks are held up, and the ends of this cord that were placed between Nyx and Russ's fingers, the ends are tied to these sticks. The grandpa takes both of their hands and raises it up over their heads, to which then Keld and Nana, you raise your sticks, now holding the ends of this cord. And Keld, you start it. You begin to walk. And the two of you begin to slowly make a loop again and again and again around Russ and Nyx, kind of binding their hands together in this cord, in this ribbon. The sticks that you're holding have these like ribbons and twines twisted and dangling from the ends and kind of hangs down around your arms. We'll start crashing into people, and the ladle comes and takes the ends of the cord and ties it in the center. And you watch as the grand pot goes over to the large pot that is in the center of town and pulls out this ornate wooden spoon and slots it between Nyx and Russ's hands and says, "Now, scare off the spirits of misfortune so as to start afresh." And holding this spoon overhead, Nyx and Russ turn, and they bring their hands down together and hit against this pot. Tong, tong, tong. And the grand pot raises his arms. "Behold each other with new eyes." And you look at each other. And your father says, "And rejoice." And once again, at Rejoice, everyone in the crowd, a large roar, everyone excited. And as they cheer, the two of you kiss. And you both head out. You kiss under this canopy, and you watch as the two of them run off away from the wedding ceremony, as the grand pot and the ladle watch on, holding each other's hands. "Okay, let's set up." And everybody immediately starts getting excited. Food, drink, music, dancing, it all starts to begin as Nyx and Russ run over to a lonely, secluded bench where the sounds of the party are distant and muffled, and they can take the time to untwine their hands as they sit together. Your father explained this part to me as reflection, and I'm not sure if there's something specific I want to do, but I am happy to be here.
I think she's fully sitting on his lap, like normal, as they're untwining this.
Yeah. And he's content to sit there in quiet with you for 8 minutes if you're so inclined.
I think for at least a minute while they're unwrapping it, she does.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, I don't know what we're supposed to reflect on either. She's just excited.
He smiles. "I mean, technically we already got married, so I suppose we've already gotten time to reflect on our marriage."
We had like a week worth of reflecting already. 2 weeks?
True.
A lot of time.
I don't. Yeah, 8 minutes seems like a short amount of time to reflect.
And I don't think they'd really notice if we're not back at exactly 8 minutes.
I mean, I'm fine to wait. Feel like I did the important part.
And she'll just give him another kiss.
Yeah, he seems to like that.
just enjoy the moment.
Anything from anybody from team actually now at the party? Or is it like, hey, it's just time to have a good time now?
I think the only thing Nana will ask is to Keld, and that is, so is there a dance or a song that's traditional for wedding days and the like? If you know
Well.
somebody who can teach, I'd like to learn.
I can show you.
Okay.
I'll show Nana a traditional dance.
Yeah. She's part of this
I think-
community now. She got to start learning
You
the
gotta
steps.
learn.
Got to learn how to walk the
I think
walk.
Roshan wants to help with the setup in any way possible.
Mhm. Okay. Rose goes over and gets a drink.
Mm.
Fen will also go help with setup, as he didn't help with the first setup.
But
Mm.
his
He'll help
arm
with-
is so paper thin. How will he?
But he's and now it's damp from all the dishes.
Oh
How will he ever help?
no!
But you all set up. Drinks are first off, probably the first thing set up. As music begins to play, the smell of food very prominent. Nix, do you and Russ come back after 8 minutes?
I think they're there for. They can't tell how long it's been. I think
That's
they're just
true.
there
Yeah,
for a while.
Yeah, nobody comes to get you two. It's nobody's gonna be like, it's been 8 minutes. Yeah, these are the rules. But whenever you two eventually come back,
Mm.
um, from your moment of reflection,
The moment of
you-
making out, you know.
yeah, a moment of honestly just making out.
I was like, let's be real here.
Yeah,
They're
I
like,
was
what
wondering.
reflecting makes out.
We make
You
out
know.
for 12 minutes, and then you go back to the party.
We ain't need no 8 minutes in heaven. We need 12.
And you go back, and it is dancing and drinking and eating, and congratulations. And Nix, you dance with Russ, and there's not even a moment where he tries to like fall into that like dancing at the party. It is definitely more of like the loose, more less stylized dancing of a community, not a big fancy bash. And a good time is to be had. And it is. Is there anything anybody'd like to do at the party besides have a good time?
I think Roshan will sneak out early and go back to the workshop and work on his rock.
And he did
Okey-dokey.
his turn. He did his good deed, and he did his greetings.
Everyone will remember that, period.
Yeah. Did we get a greeting from him before he ran off? That's the question.
No.
Hmm.
Wow, this
We will
guy.
remember that.
Uh-oh.
Alright.
I know this sounds like, oh, Jillian's being rude and jumping on this. I'm not. Rose comes over and does congratulate you. She is not the first to do it. She is not the last to do it, but
No.
has definitely seen other people do it, and will come over to congratulate. And then we'll go get a drink. She has nowhere else to be right now, so she's gonna vibe. Anybody else? Anything in particular?
Held, are we supposed to congratulate them? We helped to marry them. Are we supposed to also congratulate them, or is that...
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
We can do that.
Okay. Nana and Kel
Oh.
can go over and give congratulations.
Yeah. You go over and give congratulations. Easy enough.
And, with the happy couple being congratulated, and if they don't need a drink or anything, I think Nana will probably return to revelry, generally.
And as the party continues and commences, there becomes a part where it's like, this is a mandatory like mealtime. You see that a lot of people weren't like, there was some eating, but not like a lot.
It was like the
And
snacking before the meal.
There was a lot of snacking. Roshan, as he like walks back, is like, it's weird we set up all those tables.
All those tables, they had nothing
for the
on them. How
vibe.
strange.
And everyone sits down to have a meal together, and this is supposed to be the first meal for Nyx and Russ as a married couple. A symbolic meal for them to enjoy. And the revelry can last as long as you want it to. If there's anything else you wanted to do at this party or after.
Nana will make sure that a plate is taken to Roshan so he'll fucking eat something.
You're doing good work, Nana.
So kind of you.
I mean, the boy is hyper fixated. We can't help that. We can at least make sure there's food in his proximity.
That helps.
Mm.
Although, he'll ask, next time you can just bring me one of those salty berries.
Oh, really? It's your
Wow.
preference, is it?
I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
That's... Decide one way or the other, or I'll take you up on it next time.
Honestly, I like them because then I don't have to worry about eating.
Rather convenient. Not gonna lie.
Good berries
Maybe
are
you could teach
depression
me how to do
meals.
that sometime.
Yeah, it's
Girl
a little bit...
dinner.
Yeah, nah, it's very convenient. The thing is that I was trying to reach for it last night, and I really didn't. I can't explain it. I don't think... I tell you what, you try one, and tell me if you think it tastes different.
Roshan will try a berry.
It has that terrible salty berry taste that we all know and love.
Yeah.
But no magical fullness follows.
Nana, what have you done? It's bad.
What? I don't know what I did.
I mean, it tastes exactly the same, but there's no magic. That's the best part.
Yeah, I guess that's the only good part about it. I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm not sure. It just doesn't seem to be. Let me. I'll try and cast it again. And she'll take out her little pouch of berries and she'll make the effort of trying to cast the good berry spell, which she has previously always kind of kept prepared.
Yeah. I mean, you don't feel that magic come to your hands or that energy. There's nothing
was
there.
apparent when she tried to cast it previously, and that was why she was kind of like inclined to ask about it when Roshan broached the topic.
Well, I guess I'll just have some of this fancy food. It's probably better tasting anyway.
Vastly better tasting. Yeah, I've had these good berries before, and this food is leaps and bounds better. Much, much better.
Sorry, I haven't asked. Are you still... You can still do magic, right?
Yeah, I can feel a connection there still, yes. It's just, I can't explain it. Like, since we got back from the brushwood, it just feels different. I don't know. I've never had other magic besides the one. That was it. And I don't know what other kinds of magic feel like, but I don't know. It's not the same.
I think there is enough magic in the world that everyone could have their own unique kind of it. And, well, I don't know anything about it being new for you, but I hope whatever changes were made in the woods that you're happy with them.
If they do what they're supposed to, then yeah, I think I will be. I don't know if there's a good way to really nail down exactly what might have changed, but I don't know. If you think of anything, could you let me know?
Yeah, if I think of anything.
Thanks. How are you feeling as well? I seem to notice you didn't have time enough to take a bath, so
Slowly.
okay.
I feel it still feels too quiet in here. And he points at his head.
Well,
But it's
arguably coming out of the brushwood, being quieter in here is perhaps better?
No, the brushwood didn't get into my head like that. The brushwood got behind my eyes and showed me only what it wanted me to see. This is my connection with magic. Like waves on the shore, something you can count on. It just sucks when it's gone.
Yeah. Sorry to have been the cause of that. I really appreciate you sticking your neck out for me in the brushwood like you did. I haven't said it yet, and I should have. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you saying so, but I would have done so for anyone. Although if I have to do it again, I'm afraid I'll hinder myself and the group again, maybe for longer this time. I don't know.
How do you mean? Is this about what you said
Well,
before about us not being able to trust you?
no, it's just the first time this happened, it was like a day. Was it right after I almost died?
Yeah.
And this time it's been like 6 days to get a glimmer.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to test a third go on that if we can avoid it.
I just don't know that if I get the opportunity that I can say no. I don't know. You should go enjoy the wedding. I just You go have a good night. You were part of the ceremony. It was great.
Thanks. And I think that one way or another, you ought to pass along some congratulations to the couple yourself. Or maybe with Rose. I don't know. It seemed
Yeah.
pretty traditional. So,
Sorry I let myself out so early.
I know you've been really fixed on this, and I can appreciate that. I know how you are. But tip your hat a little bit more the other way before you go to bed, at least.
That's yeah, that's a good idea.
Whatever's coming, going forward, least we can do is be as good to one another as we can. Often as we're able.
Yeah.
If the worst happens and we can't stop Bosch, I don't want for us to have spent the whole time clawing at each other and making things worse. If we can try and do our best for each other, at least until we can reach the end of this one immediate goal, I think we'll be all right.
I don't know. I mean, Roshan probably hides it well, but I don't know if he agrees.
You think that we're missing something?
I think, and it may be entirely my doing, but I don't know what we have to keep us together after we kill Bosch.
Well,
I don't know what we have to do. Maybe it's no use ruminating.
maybe not for right now. I don't know. Well, there's so much hinging on Bosch alone. Just if that goes tits up, there's nothing else that matters. There's nothing else that comes after that. So I think best thing we can do is put all of our attention and all of our energy into that and figure out what comes after.
Yeah, that sounds right.
If nothing else, then we've got our focus where it needs to be in the short term. Make sure there can be a long term.
It's a good way to put it.
Been doing an awful lot of thinking about it lately, so I guess I've come up with a couple pithy things.
Now, go enjoy the party.
All right,
Stop letting me
all
keep
right.
you from it.
Well, don't keep yourself from it entirely for too long. Don't have to stay the whole night. Stick your nose in. Maybe have a little dessert. I left that out.
I'll come get something.
Take care of yourself, Ro.
And I think probably just a few minutes after Nana, Roshan decides to just bite the bullet and hope they're still there.
Roshan, roll me a luck check.
10.
I guess that's the good one on the. Is that the good one?
Think?
Well, it
If you
was on a
split the-
D1 or a D20, so
Half.
we're
It's the
halfway there.
lower half. It's the lower half, isn't it?
It's the top of the lower half.
So you're telling me it's the lower half. Roshan, you make your way over. You see people are eating. Some people have gotten and merriment. And you can't find Nyx and Russ. So you kind of like ask, and it's like the best you get is somebody's like saw them like run off.
Ow.
So Russ and Nyx are no longer at the party.
Cool. Well, don't
I
want
assure
to.
you, Nana didn't know they were planning to skedaddle. Otherwise, she wouldn't have needled him. But oh well.
No worries. I don't want to interrupt the rest of the night. Who knows what they may be doing? Maybe just kissing on a bench somewhere. Who knows?
Roshan, as you're like,
Optimistic and-
well, slap your thigh. A Furbolg hand like grabs your shoulder and like pushes you down to sit, and the ladle kind of like leans over you. Okay, but, and she points past you and at the bread. I need you to try that.
Yes, ma'am. And he will go over to the bread. The big bread.
You approach Big Bread, and well, once Big Bread, now slightly less Big Bread, as a lot of people have made their way over to get said Big Bread. It's good bread. This is, for being the novelty of being such gigantic bread, it's kind of like, you know, something novel. Sometimes it's like it tastes okay because it's cool and that's enough. But it's cool and also very, very good bread. And as you exist in this space, being like, it's pretty good bread. People just casually keep handing you things, and like and sometimes you'll be in a group that gets like motioned towards something. So it is not an easy escape, as it's like, oh, they just opened they just tapped this, we all have to go over there and get something, and then just like the crowd shuffles that way. Or it's like, oh, this song's very important, and everyone shuffles that way. It is definitely hard to leave at the top. Rose has a drink and a piece of bread and is just like sitting and watching everyone have a good time. Russ and Nyx have run off. Anything else for party time?
I think Keld's probably been imbibing and dancing and whatnot. So
Mhm.
at this point, he's probably grabbed a piece of big bread before it's gone.
Yeah.
And he has a
Gotta
bit of
get
a
sick.
strange inclination. He wants to go find like a little creek or something. I'm sure he'd know where one was, or maybe a well.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, you're
wants to
able
go.
to certainly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he kind of just wants to go share with the Lurk. His sister got married.
Okay.
He's not
Do
really
you want to go
sure.
to Mhm.
He's not really sure
Uh,
if, that's possible, but just going on this whim.
Yeah. You go over to a well and you lean over the side and you begin to talk about what a joyous day it is today. And hope that the Lurk can hear you, or that there is some connection here, as you have had a couple instances of being connected to the Lurk through water. And you don't know if she's there. But there is a big, beautiful moon overhead, and it is a cold, quiet night. And if she is there, she would certainly hear you.
Will do.
Anybody? All right. Anybody else anything during this nighttime hour? Okay. And eventually the party begins to wind down. A lot of like the older people seem to be like, no, why would I leave? The old people don't leave this party. They seem to be content to stay and drink and eat, and just keep
Are
talking
they
to
telling
each other.
stories?
It has fully turned into 100% observations now. They've gotten past the point of stories. They hit that number of drink where it's like they're looking straight ahead and describing everything they see. They're just fully
Amazing.
describing to each other what they see. And
Incredible.
they're like, that's great.
Incredible.
But as it is now evening and your day was filled with joy and merriment, Roshan, you still do feel like tiredness in your body, and you're like, I still have to sleep. I was not given this gift back. Rose, eventually you see she taps out and she starts heading back to where she's staying. Many people at the party begin to head home as it's getting dark and it's cold and they have children. Anything else before bed?
I mean, I'd assume there's some cleanup that has to happen, and Nana will assist with that, because there's always cleanup after a big old shindig like this. So
yeah.
I think Roshan and Finn would probably join in that.
I feel like.
Paper Doll Finn comes over, kind of bobs around, very helpful like. And eventually things are clean and people are able to head back to their abodes. Is everybody staying at the pot residence? Or okay. Everyone heads back. Some hot tea is had. It is the buzz of leaving a party and energy that just kind of like sits on the top of your skin, that takes time to lose, something to escape from, just an energy that follows you around for the rest of the night. And even as you lay down to try and sleep, the sounds and the thoughts and the memories, you have to slowly start processing them before you can finally rest on a fully good day. And hey, it's early, but I've gone late a lot now, haven't I? And with that, I think I'm going to end our session here with everyone laying down for bed. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you guys a story. If you head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult, you can watch all past episodes of On the Backs of Gods. I'm watching Nathan's disappointment.
No, see, like what you can do now is y'all can go on YouTube and watch the first wedding.
Fire?
You can watch the first wedding that Nix and Russ had and compare it to today's wedding and see exactly how good today's wedding is.
You can head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult to watch all past episodes of On the Backs of Gods. Keep up with us at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. All of us at the Dice Cult on Instagram and Twitter. Go into the chat or the box below to get some beautiful dice that really didn't see the light of day today.
We didn't need them for today, but
it was just a good day, Nathan.
It was just a good day. This one's for Lisa.
This one's for you, Mom.
Yeah.
The next one. We'll see
Everybody
you at the
next
one. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you a story. We'll be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.